All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the party. Let me get a little audio going in here. When you're doing the mobile studio, it's always a little bit of an adventure here. I got a lot of screen real estate issues. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. I am your host, Dr. Gerald Auger. This is episode number 749, coming to you live from the mobile studio. And I know many of you, Space Tacos particularly, loves hashtag Team Sippy Cup, so we are representing strong. Good morning, everybody. Over the next hour, me, you, BSEC in the green room, Justin Gold and the Bitcoin crew up in Mod Chat, Augusta Delgado, FedEx, Marlon Johnson, Port Zero in the upstate. Turn the audio up. How's that? Let me get some mic checks. Here we go. I'll start toggling audio as needed with BSEC taking priority. Good morning, everybody. We're going to shred the top cyber news stories of the day, and I'm going to be giving my expert opinion and analysis on each of those stories on what it means to you as a practitioner. So how can you use this information to drive cyber risk reduction for your business stakeholders, right? That's what we're doing here at the end of the day. Yeah, it's cute to get really deep into the tech and, do cross-site scripting on try hack me boxes, but at the end of the day, we're getting paid. We're making that sweet, sweet straight cash, homie. Hold on. The mobile studio, you can't hear it. We're making that sweet, sweet straight cash, homie, by protecting our business stakeholders and end users, and that's what we're all about. Marcus Kyler, the Yeet crew, letting me know it all sounds good. Thank you, Marcus. Guys, we got it cracking today. I want you to know I don't prep or research for any of these stories. I am just getting after it. Kimberly can fix it. Coming in live from, this is coming in right now. Breaking news. Kimberly is on the lanai. This is great. We are doing what we're doing. No, FedEx, this is actually a Logitech C922, but what you do need to know is the hotel I'm staying at, the network bandwidth is dodgy. It gets me at 10 megabytes, so I'm broadcasting at 720p instead of 1080p like I normally do, because I didn't want to risk it for the biscuit, if you're picking up what I'm putting down. All right, guys, hey, we're going to be getting after it. I want you to know, super excited today. It's so important. First time from Tampa, eBurn 757. You know what? I'm just going to get rid of the music today so we can do the sound effects at full bore. Guys, we are going to get after it today, and I am so excited. Thank you all for being here. As always, I do want to say shout out and love to the stream sponsors, those who enable me to get after it every single morning, whether I'm in hot Atlanta, down at the dungeon, whipping up things with Big Boy, and Andre 3000, or if I'm in the low country doing it from the mobile studio, I want to say shout out and love to Barricade Cyber Solutions. Guys, Barricade Cyber Solutions is dedicated to helping businesses from cyber attacks and recover from the damage done. Cyber attacks can cause massive issues for businesses and send dedicated, hardworking business owners into turmoil. But Barricade Cyber Solutions knows how to mitigate the damage done by cyber incidents. Believe that. Check them out at barricadecyber.com. Links in the description below. Wait, hold on. Mod chat, I wasn't ready for that. Guys, listen, here's the deal with Barricade Cyber. I know I say a lot of stuff, but what you need to take away, the TLDR to imprint on your brain, is that if you're dealing with an active compromise, you're going to need help, especially if you've never dealt with one before. And the best way to do that is go to barricadecyber.com, reach out, get Eric Taylor. He's a longtime member of the Simply Cyber community. Get him on the phone. He'll get you straightened out. You'll be happy you did. And honestly, I wouldn't wait until you're actively compromised. That's the worst time to find out if your fire extinguisher works, is when your house is fully involved. Maybe best to, get it sorted out and checked out first, okay? All right. Also want to say shout out and love to ThreatLocker. You guys know ThreatLocker has turned on as a major sponsor for the channel. Super pumped. Let's get 30 seconds with ThreatLocker. And when I get back, I'm going to tell you how this show is going to cure all your CPE sorrows. And we're going to be taking a slug off Team Sippy Cup. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, ThreatLocker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with ThreatLocker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust ThreatLocker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. ThreatLocker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based
Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how ThreatLocker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit ThreatLocker.
All right. Hey, thank you so much, ThreatLocker. I decided to get back into the music because, honestly, it's 8 a.m. in the morning. While I drink a ton of coffee to get myself sorted out, I like the energy that the music brings, so I'm going to go ahead and get after it. You guys let me know. It's our show, right? I mean, I might be up here yelling into this microphone. Also, can I get a confirmation that this is the hot mic? A couple years ago, I was actually yelling at the microphone in this camera and just talking, and Casually Joseph never lets me forget that. Hey, Lucas Prail in the house. Hey, Lucas, can you do me a favor? I just recently noticed that it's P-R-A-L-L-E, not P-R-A-I-L-E, and I think I've been saying your last name incorrectly for years. If you can, let me know, would you please, the pronunciation. All right, hey guys, check it out now. Thank you, Alpha Sierra. Guys, every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, including this one, episode 749, is worth half a CPE. But what? What are you talking about, Jerry? Here, come closer. Come closer, let me tell you. I'm streaming live at 720p. This looks like your dad's TV, channel 3, 4, or 5. But the deal is, even though I'm coming in pixelated, this episode's worth half a CPE. Take a screenshot of the chat when I bring it back on stage. Say hello. File it away. Once a year, count the number of screenshots. Divide by 2. Don't tell them I told you, okay? This is secret level stuff, okay? Believe me. It's the easiest way to get CPs. You're going to want to do it, all right? All right. I love it. Now, if today, Lucas Prawley? Good morning. I see Sophie Goodwin and Kathy Chambers in chat. Again, shout out to the very talented and legend status Daniel Lowry on his recent announcement, joining forces. Like, guys, I got to tell you, Antisyphon is a sponsor, but they're basically forming Voltron over there, okay? Zach Hill's the head, but Kathy Chambers is making up that left arm. Daniel Lowry's got the right leg. I don't know what they're up to over there, but they are forming like Voltron, and it's going to be scary when they fully form and take off. And if you don't know what Voltron is, you Gen Z folks, just wait. It'll probably come back around since Gen Z seems to be, reappropriating all the things that we grew up on. Am I right? All right, guys, we got a great show for you. Do me a favor. We're going to get after it. I'm going to engage with chat a little bit. I have to teach at 9:30, but because I don't have to travel, I'm teaching remotely from Hotlanta. I will be doing a little bit of jaw jacking, handing it off to Anita Sailors. Sakil is not the CEO. He's just the head of Voltron when it comes to Antisyphon. I'm being playful. I'm feeling a little silly. Here's Voltron. There we go. See, look at this. Daniel Lowry, Kathy Chambers, Big Boot. Right? This is all good. Okay, guys, I'm being silly. We got to get after it. Do me a favor. Sit back, relax, and let's let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over all of us in an awesome wave. I will see you guys, along with Team Sippy Cup, at the mid-roll. Let's get into it. Mods, please let me know if the audio on the podcast is not good.
From the CISO series, it's Cybersecurity Headlines.
Oh, I also forgot to mention, I'm sorry, if today is your first day, if you're like, holy hell, what is this going on? How did 720p become ever socially acceptable? Listen, friend. I am in the remote studio, and we're operating the business continuity plan. We're about 73% of fully production, and that's going to be good enough because it's still worth a half a CPE. We're still going to be given spicy hot takes. The networking is still going to be freaking amazing, and you're going to get all the answers that you want. So do me a solid. Welcome to the party, pal. If it's your first time, drop a hashtag first timer in chat. And if you love Voltron, hashtag Voltron. I grew up on some Voltron. Oh my God.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Tuesday, November the 12th, 2024. I'm Steve Prentice. Cyber attack cost Halliburton $35 million thus far. Following up on a story we covered in late August, the attack on Halliburton, one of the largest oilfield service providers in the world, cost the company $35 million by the end of September. Ransom Hub is believed to be the group behind the attack, but this has not been officially confirmed. According to Security Week, quote, Halliburton has yet to confirm that the incident was a ransomware attack, but its brief description suggests that it was. The company has confirmed that hackers accessed and exfiltrated information from its corporate systems, end quote. DDoS.
All right. So, Halliburton, basically, I mean, I'm not saying Halliburton is exactly what Tony Stark's Iron Man company, Stark Enterprises or whatever it was supposed to represent, but it's pretty close. So if you've never had a Halliburton, I'm sure Halliburton loves that. They're not big splashy, like they're not going to be sponsoring the Miami Heat at any point. But Halliburton basically makes Department of Defense things, right? Whether it's weapons, whether it's logistics stuff. They also do oil and gas and energy. They've got their fingers in a lot of pies. Now, normally I would say, okay, they suffered $35 million. They do need to represent that in, because they're publicly traded. They do need to represent that in their 10K filings. An 8K, I think, is a filing that you have to do just in time when bad crap happens. But they obviously they suffered some type of incident. I will tell you, it is pretty common. The following things are pretty common. Oops, hold on. Wait a minute. We've got some first-timers in chat. Squad members, if you can. I am Welcome to the party, pal. And user 111. Welcome to the party, pals. I see the squad members dropping those John McClanes in there. So user 111 and I am you are super welcome to be here. We've made the circle wider, and we would love to have you all up in the space. I hope you get a good show. So anyways, here's what you need to know. Okay, this is a fact. I don't care if it's Halliburton, Mattel, Lego, insert Fortune 500 publicly traded company. It doesn't matter. Here's the deal. When you get hit with a cyber attack, if you're a publicly traded company, you are supposed to declare it. Now, the declaration, I believe, is in an 8K filing, but the thing is, It as much as there's a standard boilerplate template that gets sent to you and I when our personal information gets compromised, like, oh, our business suffered blah, blah, blah. Privacy and security is important, blah, blah, blah. Here's your identity theft protection, blah, 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 right? With these 8K filings, it's always the same thing. I've seen enough of them now. It'll say, oh, hey, we wanted you to know that at this time and date, we detected unauthorized access. It doesn't matter how it happened. It just says we detected unauthorized access in our environment. A third-party cybersecurity expert company was contacted immediately, and remediation or response and recovery efforts are underway, period, full stop. It is so generic. It's so basic. It almost reads like a case study in an academic textbook. There's usually not a lot of detail or information. In fact, frankly, in my experience, it's the threat actor who goes public with whatever their compromise is, especially if it's a ransomware where they're trying to really leverage the victim organization. That's where you get the meat and potatoes of like what kind of data was compromised, how did they do it, what was the cost of the ransom. Okay, now in this instance, this resulted in a 2-cent stock price deviation. 2 cents, okay? I don't know I only have one hand, right? So hold on, let me do this really quickly. Halliburton, not a financial show, okay? Obviously. You definitely don't want to take financial advice from me. Catch me, well, actually, I'll tell you on Tidbits Tuesday, which is the mid-rolls. We're going to do a special thing at the bottom of the hour for Tidbits Tuesday. So Halliburton's actually trading at $30 right now, which is not nearly as high as I thought it would be. But they experienced a 2-cent deviation. Now, over the last 6 months, you can see they're down 19%, which is pretty gross, frankly. So not a good situation. When did they suffer this breach? August 22nd. August 22nd. Let's go. So August 22nd. Yeah, so if you go back, I mean, you can kind of see, like, this tracks. And actually, this is a little bit of an anomaly. Usually, you don't see it take such a nosedive. It used to take about 3 years for a stock to recover, going back to using Target 2014 breach as an indicator or as a case study. Recently, it's been a much faster turnaround, unless your name's SolarWinds. But this isn't good. But anyways, a 2-cent deviation isn't that bad. But honestly, I think they're not exactly telling the truth because this definitely looks like more than a 2-cent deviation. On August 5th, August 22nd, they were trading at 31.15. I don't know if anyone can do fast math, but if they're trading at 31.15 and today they're trading at 30, is that too? That's I mean that's you don't even have to do the math, dude. That's like $1 difference. DJ Bisek is saying oil prices are down, which would influence this. So, here's my thing. It's not a big deal. Honestly, this is a little bit of a cynical hot take. So if you want squad members, I'll do it myself because I'm going to self-identify. This is a tinfoil hat, Jerry. I'm not saying Halliburton did this in any way, and if their lawyers are interested, this is just a speculative hot take based on nothing other than cynicism and theory. If my company had I could envision a company, not Halliburton, I could envision a company somehow overinflating the impact of a cyber attack in order to be able to write off more on their for tax mitigation purposes. I'm not saying Halliburton did that. I'm just saying I could see a world where a generic company suffers a cyber attack and does that. So it's just interesting. 35 million is probably not going to move the needle for Halliburton. They're going to continue marching on and making tons and tons of money, right? So
Straight cash, homie.
So this is what it is. Anyways, I think the TLDR here for everybody to take away is more about how publicly traded companies have to handle cyber attacks regardless of the impact size or anything like that. They announce, they march, and they move on. Okay. Becky Gaylord did it. Y'all graduated my master's in cyber from WGU. Next up, landed GRC social engineering roles. Do I have the Viking horn? I do. Becky Gaylord, ladies and gentlemen, hashtag Team SC member, straight up crushing it. Becky getting her master's is so hot.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
Attack makes credit card readers malfunction in Israel. Customers at supermarkets and gas stations in Israel were apparently unable to make payments during a DDoS attack that had been launched against the payment gateway company HIP, HYP, and its Credit Guard product. The attack, which lasted around an hour, disrupted communications between the card terminals and the wider payment system, but did not steal information or payments. An Iran-linked hacker group has apparently claimed responsibility, but this has not been confirmed. This is far from the first time that this type of attack has happened in Israel. The most recent, prior to this, occurred in October at the payment firm Sheba.
Okay. So, TLDR, obviously Israel is in a conflict with Palestine. It's a small area over there. It's hotly contested. It's serious. I mean, there was ballistic missiles being shot and then the Iron Dome with the drones. So there's kinetic warfare things. Israel is a tier 1, maybe tier S for you Gen Z people. Credit card. Jesus, I just got buffer overflowed by the story title. Israel is a tier S, meaning like unbelievable cyber first world power, okay? So there's going to be all sorts of cyber capabilities being executed in this, and whomever, we would assume some ally of Palestine or Hezbollah or whatever, did a distributed denial of service attack on the networks that helped do communication for credit card taking services. I mean, this is not disruptive, right? So this isn't like launching a missile or something into a telco center or data center. It is limited in impact simply because you'd have to keep the denial of service attack up for as long as you want to disrupt it. But this is a low-key kind of terror attack slash disruptive attack. Obviously, if you're in Israel and you're trying to go to the supermarket to buy food to feed your family, you're living in a war zone, you're trying to get gas so you can get the hell out of there. Sorry, Kennedy. Sorry, Hannah. It's very bad, right? Like, I personally carry $20 cash on me, but I really don't carry cash all that often. The $20 is like an emergency thing for whatever reason. And I've probably been carrying it around me for like 6 months, right? So cash is kind of the way. So this is disruptive and it's a great case study on how to disrupt operations. Communications is massively important. The only thing I would ding them on, well, actually, hold on. From a defensive perspective, If you're worried about your organization getting hit with distributed denial of service attacks, especially if you have a internet-facing product or solution, right? Like you're a SaaS provider, your Netflix, your Amazon, whatever. There is distributed denial of service mitigation services, Cloudflare. If you've ever tried to log into something and then you get like the Cloudflare kind of proxy web interface thing, and then it goes on to the whatever, that's basically making sure that you're not part of a botnet doing distributed denial of service. So there are solutions out there. As far as I can tell, they're basically set it and forget it. It's not like it needs a lot of care and feeding, those distributed denial of service services. Second thing I want to point out, while this is disruptive, again, like I do want to qualify this. I am in no way, shape, or form a military strategist. I am not General Jerry. I'm barely Private Pyle over here, and you older Marines know what I'm talking about. Also, Semper Fi and happy Marine Corps birthday, November 10th. Listen, if I was going to do a distributed denial of service attack on an adversary, you would, in my opinion, you'd want to pair it with something, right? Just like shooting your, like, just, I don't want, that's inappropriate for this show, let alone 8 a.m. in the morning. But if you're gonna, go, and like do your attack, to what effect? This is disruptive and annoying, but like you need to pair it with something. And honestly, I point it to Russia-Ukraine conflict when Russia first invaded Ukraine, up in the northwest region of Ukraine, where the Tinder stuff was happening. They launched a denial of service attack in pair with boots on the ground moving in. This is really, really, in my opinion, how you should do it, right? Because it's a denial of service. You disrupt communications. People are in a disarray. Now you've got like kinetic force moving on you. And you're like, what are we doing? We can't get help. We can't report back to HQ. And you're dealing with a complete hot mess express, right? So that's just one thing I would say. And also worth noting, if you do not have denial of service defenses in place, as regardless of nation state threat actor behavior, it's already it's worth considering how this could be paired with other things, okay? All right, let's go.
Relief firm Forth announces data breach for customers and non-customers. The breach, which occurred on May 21st of this year, now sees debt relief solutions provider Forth, that is F-O-R-T-H, its full legal name being Set Forth, notifying 1.5 million individuals that their personal information has been compromised. Although the breach occurred in May, it was on July 1st that the company confirmed that attackers had accessed certain documents on its systems. The affected individuals might not even have been customers of Forth, but may be customers of Centrex Software, C-E-N-T-R-E-X, which, quote, provides cloud-based customer relationship management solutions powered by the Set Forth platform. This platform allows businesses to collect and share consumer information with their permission between its users, end quote. This according to the company.
This is gross. Okay, so I literally just covered something like this. Okay, so this is a firm that had a ton of our information. They got hacked, and 1.5 million members of society have had their information compromised through no fault of their own. They're going to send out the notification letter saying that privacy and security is important to them, and here's your free identity theft protection for 1 year. Okay, it's a playbook at this point. Like you can write it down. Kyle, hoorah! All right, so I think that, okay, so first of all, you should have, like, as gross as it is the playbook. You should, if you don't already have it, you should be doing tabletop exercises and have some type of, like, how do you respond to your community of users or your customers, your clients, whatever it is, if a data breach happens where their data is compromised. Okay, you've got to have that, because you do need to be on the same page with legal and executives and marketing and all that, and have on what you're going to say to them, when you're going to say it, how you're going to say it. On top of that, you've got to think through. You can't just like splooge out. I'm sorry. You can't just shoot out a like, oh, sorry, we had a cyber attack. Here's your identity theft protection. No questions, please. Like, you have to have the idea of like, okay, so how are people who are victims going to contact to get information? Are we going to set up a call center? Are we going to have an email address? Who's going to be checking the email? Are we going to respond to those people within 24 to 48 hours? Like, there's a lot of like devil in the details elements, right? So you've got to be mindful of that. Now, okay, so that's what we do as practitioners. Now let me get a little, you know what's gross about this? These companies are sharing data with each other. There's some other company that, like, say I was looking for debt relief and I signed up with this fourth company, whatever, fine, that's the deal. Now they're sharing data somehow with some cloud CRM solution provider. My data's over there. I probably click through some like 300-page EULA that a lawyer made up at size 4 font that granted them to give my data over there. And by give, I mean straight cash, homie. Sell my data, right? So they're getting paid on my back. And now they have a cyber attack. Data gets leaked, and I'm getting a notification that my data has been compromised by a company called Centrex, who I've never heard of. It's just, it's so, it just seems so, like, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, like, helpless. You know what I mean? Like, as a private citizen, and all of us, like, what can you do besides scream into the hurricane of like these large businesses sharing data and just getting popped all over the place? Like, there's no champion for us. There's no, you're just yelling into the hurricane about how it's not fair that it's windy out. Like, ugh, I just hate it. All right. Do I have a sound effect that makes me feel, I don't know. I guess this is how I feel.
Catch me outside. How about that?
That's what I want to say to these businesses that I've never heard of. I literally got a breach letter in my identity theft protection from a company I'd never heard of like 2 weeks ago. And like literally there was no context of like where they got my data. I was like, it was like some healthcare thing. I'm like, who are you? But awesome. Super pumped. Glad you spent the 30 cents on the stamp.
By Design hits 6-month mark, progress being made. In an interview with Recorded Future News, Jack Cable, a senior technical advisor at CISA who has been championing the effort, says 248 companies signed the pledge and most are taking it seriously. Secure by Design includes a pledge from these software companies to the Biden administration and to their own customers that they would, quote, adopt 7 key digital security practices within a year, end quote. Cable says he is seeing significant impacts across the internet ecosystem and that the progress has exceeded expectations. He has pointed out Microsoft's expansion of multi-factor authentication, Google's improvements to secure code development, and Fortinet's new requirement that customers receive automatic security updates as examples.
All right. You'll have to excuse me for low-key dying over here. All right, so check it out, y'all. Loving chat. I am going to spend a minute in chat saying what's up. So Jack Cable, I forgot about this guy, honestly. CISA, who continues to dominate, right? Never letting up. They got their foot all the way to the floor. And we're talking like this is an old school, big gurgly, 8-cylinder, no hood, hot rod looking thing, kind of a rat racer. Jen Easterly's at the helm. I guess Jack Cable's sitting on the right, got his arm out, maybe wearing a white t-shirt with a pack of cigarettes rolled up in the sleeve if you're picking up what I'm putting down, right? Getting after it, Secure by Design. Now, a lot of people are thinking Secure by Design, like that's a cute idea, but you're going to need, like, for those who don't know, Secure by Design basically means baking in security during architecture, which we've been saying literally since the 90s, but it's expensive. And when you're a product company and you have a choice between investing more money and taking longer to get to market versus your competitors who are just going ham on features and market strategy, straight cash, homie. Why would you be incentivized to do it? Like, think about it for a minute, okay? Because this is a big topic, okay? This is a big topic, okay? It's just the reality of business, okay? So who wants to work with me? Code Brew, okay? Brent Book. So Brent and I are competitors, right? I'm gonna make, I don't know, a SaaS application that will solve all your GRC problems. One button, GRC problem solved. Brent is like, I can also make a GRC solution. All right, no problem. Now I can get to market by January 5th, and Brent can get to market January 5th. Okay. And now I'm like, well, actually, I really want to align with this secure by design. It seems like the righteous thing to do. I'm going to make sure multi-factor authentication's in here. I'm going to make sure that the default admin credentials have to get reset before you are allowed to deploy into production. Yes, I feel good. Oh my God, like let's put in role-based access control for all these things. Let's make sure that API keys or conditional access or whatever, okay? Let's do reviews of the API functions to make sure there's no undocumented ones. Let's hire pen testers to make sure that there aren't any web app interface OWASP vulns. And then I go to market on January 30th, and I'm pounding my chest because I did right. And I don't get any sales, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then I turn on the TV, and Code Brew is jumping into a Scrooge McDuck-size piggy bank vault, just like washing himself with 20s. And I'm like, Brent, what'd you do? He's like, I went to market, baby. Okay? Great cash, homie. So that's the problem. There's a perverse incentive for vendors to not want to secure by design. So in order to getting them to sign up, yeah, if there's spam in chat, get rid of it. Ain't nobody got time for that. Okay? By having these large companies sign on, there's two things going on here, and thank God. Microsoft, you've seen it. You cannot have an Azure account. I think October 15th was the deadline. You can't have an Azure account without multi-factor authentication enabled, right? So like global tenants. I think it percolates down to your workforce. 2, Google's doing all sorts of things. Amazon doing all sorts of things. So these large, well-known enterprises are requiring these things of themselves, and you can bet money that matters that they are putting in their contracts that you also will do these things for them if you want to do business with them. And when you have, when you have a 5-wood for a third leg, you can make those demands of your subcontractors or your contractors because they want to make that straight cash, homie. You're a big player and they want to get on it. Think of it like a great white shark and a little guppy swimming alongside eating the barnacles and crap off of it. If the great white shark was like, yo, starting tomorrow, all of you guppies need multi-factor authentication or you can bounce and go chew off something from a coral reef. You know the guppy's going to be like, hell yeah, I'm going to get multi-factor. All right, really quick, Travis with a $20 super chat.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Oh, Travis, you minx. Received an offer for a digital forensics examiner consultant position yesterday. Can't thank you enough and the community enough for all the knowledge over the past year. Rooting for you winning podcast of the year. Okay, first of all, Travis, thanks for the super chat.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Second of all, thank you for the well wishes on podcast of the year. If you guys didn't know, this podcast, the one we're on right now, was nominated and is a finalist for SANS Difference Maker Award Podcast of the Year Award. But more importantly, Travis, you get the sounder, my favorite sounder on the program. Ladies and gentlemen, Travis just straight crushing it, homie. Love it. Great work. Squad members, if you can wash him over in an awesome wave, that would be wonderful. And again, I know we need to get the wrecking ball emote. It's just I'm busy. I'm unfortunately, for better or worse, I take on a lot. All right, guys. There's nothing really for you to do here other than there's two things for you to know about this story. One, be mindful that you might have to introduce security technologies or features that you may not want to in order to comply with contracts for big money that you want to be doing. Secondly, you should just be mindful that Secure by Design is rolling out and having some success.
Thanks to today's episode's sponsor, ThreatLocker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with ThreatLocker. ThreatLocker helps you take a proactive, default-deny approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked. For risk management and onboarding and operation are fully supported by their US-based support team. To learn more about how ThreatLocker can help keep your organization running efficiently and protected from ransomware, visit threatlocker.com. That is THREATLOCKER. ThreatLocker.com.
All right. Hey, guess what? I am Ree, and the other first-timer who I'm so sorry I can't remember. There's a lot going on. Welcome to the party. We do this every show at the mid-roll. All right, y'all. Thank you so very much, guys. I want to say absolutely thank you all for being here today. Whether you're a long-timer or a first-timer, welcome to the party, pal. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you're having a great show. I know the mobile studio is usually a little not as primo as the Buffer Auger Flow studio, but you know what? We're getting it done, guys. It's, every day, got to get to work. Got to make it work. Okay, oh yeah, user 111. Thank you, FedEx. All right, guys. Hey, if you're getting value from the show, hold on. James with a super chat.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
What would DevOps engineers help in that scenario? Security by design. I'll give you a quick answer, James, and then you can ask that at Jawjacking. The answer is yes. I mean, they would be involved in that. They could give solutions and ideas and partner with the DevOps team and the InfoSec main team. But yeah, I mean, if you can help harden the pipeline from dev to test to prod, get after it. Plus, DevSecOps engineers can be testing API calls and stuff like that. Thanks for the super chat. All right, guys. If you're getting value from the stream, hit the like button. The reason user 1111 and I am Ree found us today could potentially be because you beautiful people hit the like button yesterday, right? So let's keep paying it forward. Here's the thing. In our industry, it's all about consistency, right? That's why I show up in Atlanta in a mobile studio, because it's 8 a.m. and I got to go. So it's consistency. Hit the like button. It goes a long way. I want to say shout out and thanks to the stream sponsors, starting with Barricade Cyber, of course, ThreatLocker coming in hot, and Antisyphon training. Now, I did tease Antisyphon training a little while ago about Voltron, Zach Hill, Kathy Chambers. Guys, let me just share with you really quick just how sick Antisyphon training really is.
Do you want cutting-edge, high-quality cybersecurity education regardless of financial position? Check this out. I want to give some love and some praise to Antisyphon Training, powered by Black Hills Information Security. Antisyphon Training is absolutely disrupting the traditional cybersecurity training industry by providing high-quality, cutting-edge education to everyone regardless of financial position. They bring industry professionals with years and years of experience into the classroom to teach you and anyone else who's interested practical skills that are in demand in the market today. And on top of that, the student experience is amazing as you and hundreds or thousands in some instances of other students are actively engaging, networking, sharing tips, tricks, and experiences with each other, all live in the classroom. Go to antisyphontraining.com, check out their course calendar to see what courses they have coming up.
All right. Thank you, antisyphontraining.com. I do see Zach Hill in chat, IT career questions. Great person. Be sure to say hi. Every single day, Tim Lisbon first-timer. Hold on. I don't see if Tim Lisbon identified as a hashtag first-timer, but Tim Lisbon, welcome to the party, pal. Oh, hold on. That volume's not going to cut it. We got to do that again.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Yes, 100, 100, 100. All right, guys. Hey, I want to say every single day of the week has a special segment, and Tuesdays is Tidbits Tuesday, where I share a little bit of personal information about me. I know for cyber people, you're probably like that Jim Carrey meme where he's like, because that's bad OPSEC. But you know what? It's a community. You know, I want to know you guys want to know each other, including me, right? I'm part of this community. I might be the face up here, but I'm still part of the community. Don't ostracize me, brah. So what would I say about Tidbits Tuesday? Two things. One, this is gross. I've had so much coffee today because I got so much going on that I think I've overdone it. I'm not talking crank level coffees, but my body is definitely reacting in a way that is not really desirable. All right, so that's That's number one. Two, I got to tell you guys, I like Atlanta. I mean, I'm not going to move to a city because I can't. I'm not going to move to a city, but Atlanta's pretty cool, right? I like the airport coming in, a lot going on, these little neighborhoods, these Dunwoody, Dinwiddie, all this stuff. So if you're from the Atlanta area, shout out to you. This place is pretty cool. I like it. All right, guys. Let me get a sip of... Oh, so good. Yes, exactly. All right, let's get our la-la-la-las on. I feel like that was kind of a Bush League Tidbits Tuesday, but if I think of something else, I'll drop it in. Oh, Luke Canfield. I'm taking an Uber. I'm not dealing with it. All right, and really quick, if you want to see what the mobile studio looks like, I did take a picture and post it on general channel in the Simply Cyber Discord server, so you can go check that out if you're interested. Let's get back to the news.
Hackers using zip file concatenation to evade detection. This new technique was identified by researchers at Perception Point, who, quote, discovered a concatenated zip archive hiding a Trojan while analyzing a phishing attack that lured users with a fake shipping notice, end quote. In essence, threat actors, quote, create two or more separate zip archives and then hide the malicious payload in one of them, leaving the rest with innocuous content. These separate files are concatenated into one by appending the binary data of one file to the other, merging their contents into one combined zip archive. Although the final result appears as one file, it contains multiple zip structures, each with its own central directory and end markers, end quote. This allows the malware to bypass security solutions.
Yeah. Okay, so do I have the sound effect here? I don't. Okay, low key. Give me a second. Okay. All right, so check it out. First timers, I do like a good infographic, and that just puts me in the mood. All right, so this is a pretty clever attack. It's pretty straightforward. So zip archives are exactly what they sound. They're called archives, right? So whether you're doing a RAR archive or a RAR archive, right, if you want to get silly, a 7-zip archive, whatever it is, it's compression in order to make file sizes smaller. You can zip up an entire directory of files into one file and be able to send that, share that. We've all used archives, okay? Like, you can't download more than one file from Google Drive and not have it auto-archive. Now, if I send you an archive, a lot of modern security solutions, whether they're email security gateways or EDR solutions, anti-malware solutions, will look into the archive, right? They kind of crack it open, and they take a peek in there, and they're like, oh, this is malware. You got to destroy it, right? Or whatever. So threat actors, ever the innovative and delightfully silly threat actors, have figured out a way to get around it. Now, basically, the idea here is that you can take an archive and break it into smaller archives and then roll it into one archive. I know there's a lot of archiving going on in here, but you have one file, but inside the file are archives. What they're taking advantage of here, I would assume, and get ready, if you are a computer science person or software engineer, we're talking about recursion. Ooh, go on, Jerry. Be still, my heart. Recursion? I haven't heard that since junior year. Here's the deal. It sounds like anti-malware solutions basically crack open the archive once and then look inside the archive. Because inside the archive is a collection of archives, it looks at it and says, this isn't malware. Please continue on, right? And it'd be like going through a border patrol with a bunch of drugs in your car, and you have a chest, and inside the chest is a chest, and they crack open, Border Patrol opens the chest, and they look in, and they're like, I don't see any drugs here. I just see another chest. Move along. These aren't the droids you're looking for. And basically, that's it. Now, it's would be like, open the second chest. Here's the payload. But software technologies are programmed to do, and they will do what they're programmed to do, right? So in this instance, that's how they're getting around it. And then when the end user detonates it, the archives collapse, or the archives open up and then collapse into one file, as it were, and now you've got your Trojanized file. Two things I want to tell you here. Okay, number one, why I would say don't let zip archives through on email attachments, right? That's a basic one. But second of all, it's trivial to get around because all I have to do is attach it to a Google Drive or OneDrive or Dropbox and just have the victim download it. So trust me, it's very easy. It's very easy to convince Carl, our token end user, to click on a link as well as it is to double click the attachment. So email security gateway, yeah, it's a good practice, but it's not remotely a silver bullet. I wouldn't even call it like a tin bullet or a copper bullet. Okay, but defense in depth. The real important part here, in my estimation, and wading through logs, who's Wade Wells, he's a detection engineer. I'd love him to comment in chat on this. Here's the deal. You need a good EDR solution, period, full stop. Because at the end of the day, if it doesn't catch it on detection through it's basically a static analysis, right? This isn't signature-based detection. This is a static analysis, which means the antivirus solution, anti-malware solution, is analyzing the contents of the file, looking at code, looking at strings, looking at behavior, whatever it can rip out, and identify whether or not it's malicious. That's a static analysis. Dynamic analysis is when you detonate the damn thing and you look at what's going on. If you've ever used any.run or triage or cuckoo sandbox, Joe sandbox, whatever, that's dynamic analysis. And good EDR solutions will detect this detonating when the zip files collapse and execute as a Trojan. So defense in depth, warn your end users about zip files. Show them the picture of the zip file. I would actually go so far as to expand this and then show them the zip files inside the zip file. But at the end of the day, my Aunt Dorothea, she's not going to understand what a zip file is or zip of zip files or concatenation or recursion. She just needs to know not to click on those things. Don't do it. Whoa, settle down, Crockett's Revenge. There'll be more for you later.
Windows 11 will add a Share button to the Start menu and the taskbar.
That's what we need.
In case customers feel they do not already have enough ways to share files, links, or text, a button will soon be available to allow everyone to share via email to nearby devices or installed apps like X. This is largely because not all apps do have this option individually. This new feature from Microsoft is still being tested in preview builds, and there is no confirmed deadline or date for the release of this feature.
Okay, I've got two things to share with you. One is a Tidbits Tuesday that just occurred to me that I think everybody in chat's going to love, and it's embarrassing about me, so I think that's why you'll like it. Okay, so Windows 11 adding a share button. Who was asking for this? It's already, okay. Sharing from my thing, fine. What I could really envision is, immediately I try to think of how threat actors would abuse this. So, weaponizing the share button, so the software uses this share functionality to share files with the threat actor, convincing people to share. At the end of the day, as I'm starting to get a little worked up about it, the more I think about it really quickly. Here's the deal. Right now in 2024, there is every time you click on something, there's do you want to share it? There's the square box with the arrow. So sharing's out there, right? You can share all over the place, whether it's a photo, an Instagram post, a message, a seg fault, data dump, right? There's so many ways to share. So adding a button, whatever, get after it. This makes me think of old school Microsoft where they were just pushing features so they could talk about it without really any context of anyone wanting it. I'm looking at you, Rollback or Total Recall or whatever the hell they were doing a couple months ago. Honestly, I think the Copilot button on the keyboard is going to be more impactful than this share button. So I'm just going to move on from this story. But because I didn't take the full time on this story, let me just go back to this one. Okay, so this is a personal story. It's a little silly. So on iPhone, you can do some type of like memoji or something like that. So like you can leave a voice message, right, on text messages on iPhone, but you can also have it look like a penguin or a lion or whatever, right? So it's like a little cute thing. So it speaks as you and it looks like you, but it's a lion or whatever. Anyways, I wanted to send Mrs. Auger like a cute text message or something. So I put it on the lion and I was like, roar, like, ooh, like I'm like, I forget what I said, but I was like, it was something silly, like roar, I love you or something. It was something silly. I can't remember. And then like a few minutes later, I get a text message from my friend, Matt Jones, who's like a 50-year-old practitioner that I worked with at MUSC for a number of years, good friend. And he replies to me, he's like, I love you too, Jerry. And I was like, oh, and I like went and looked at it and I realized that I texted the wrong person. I texted the wrong person. So I mean, silly, nothing really bad, but just a lesson for everybody. Make sure that you realize who you're texting when you're just going ham on silly things. I'll see if I can't find the exact message with everyone. I'm sure Mrs. Auger remembers. I know Matt Jones remembers.
New version of Remcos RAT appears. According to researchers at Fortinet, this is a new variant of the commercial malware known as Remcos RAT. Remcos itself is a legitimate remote administration tool that allows regular users to operate other computers remotely. Threat actors, however, use this technology for more malicious activities. In this new situation, victims receive a phishing message containing a malicious Excel document disguised as a purchase order. This Excel file accesses a shortened URL that redirects to a specific IP address, and the process unfolds from there. The malicious code maintains persistence by adding a new auto-run item to the system registry. DNA...
All right. I'm texting Mrs. Auger to get the deets. See if she remembers. Okay, so check it out. Couple things here. One, a RAT is a remote access Trojan. Everybody and their cousin knows about this. If you've been in cybersecurity for 2 days, you learned CIA tryout on day 1, and then you learned about remote access Trojans day 2. I'm being slightly silly, but you get it. This is a well-defined thing. Fileless variant. Remember, fileless just means it's running in memory. As far as computer architecture goes, there's disk, right, where you write things to disk, and then there's memory where processes run and get access to the CPU and be able to pull services from the operating system. Some security defensive technologies look at disk to see what's going on, right? If you write something to the temp directory, it's written to disk, and anti-malware solutions can look at the disk and analyze it and be like, whoa, something's fishy here. Fileless gets around that. Now, obviously, if you reboot the machine, ideally, the fileless would go away. What they did mention here is that they are writing to registry. I was half listening because I was texting my wife, but I would assume that when they're writing to the registry, it's intentional to be able to auto restart the malware after it if you reboot. Although just on the surface, and mod chat or chat, if you guys think about it, like if it restarts, I guess the registry key would also have to have the payload in it in order to run. Could be base64 encoded or something like that. Because usually with an auto start in a registry key, it's going to look to disk and launch a binary that's on disk. But if this is truly fully fileless, it could just be little shell code written inside, like a web shell or something, written inside of a, not web shell, but some type of, lightweight persistence backdoor mechanism that's actually passed as an argument into the registry key. Could be something like that. Whoa, Matthew Pelkey, excited to announce that I've accepted a position as a lead security analyst and will start in the new year. I was just asked, how do I stay current? My man, Matthew Pelkey, good thing we got this sucker on hot. There we go, Matthew. Way to go.
I came in like a wrecking ball.
Dude, so many wins, so many great stories. Dude, I'm super pumped that you're going to be able to enjoy the holidays. Riding on New Year, you're going to be launching. Matthew Pelkey, my man, out here just killing it. All right, let's keep going.
Firm holding highly sensitive data vanishes without warning. Atlas Biomed is a company based in London, England, and which offers to provide insights into people's genetic makeup and predisposition to certain illnesses. It, however, has recently ceased operations, quote, without telling its customers what has happened to the highly sensitive data that customers shared with them, end quote. All activity on social media has ceased and its London office stands empty. The company has links to Russia. It used to have 8 official positions, although according to the BBC, 4 of its officers have resigned and 2 of the apparently remaining officers are listed at the same address in Moscow, as is a Russian billionaire who is described as a now resigned director.
All right. So, dude, I mean, listen, if you don't think countries will go to unbelievable means to accomplish their goals, then you haven't been paying attention. The freaking United States, I think it was under the FBI, set up a telecommunications company. Go listen to Darknet Diaries ADOM episode. All right? So don't think it's beyond them. I hate to be like that guy, but I'll take the L for everybody. Like, these DNA firms, like, you're literally giving them your blueprint, right? So highly sensitive information, just so you can find out if you're like 1/8 Scotch. Like, what are we doing here, right? So, no surprise, this DNA, this testing firm, if I had to guess, either it got too hot, right? They got exposed for who they were by some, secret clandestine, underground type thing. Or my leading theory in the clubhouse is that they got what they wanted, right? They were trying to target certain individuals. They got what they wanted. Mission accomplished. Move on. Jenny Housley, take it easy. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, there's no reason to continue to execute the mission if you've achieved what you want. Now, if that's the case, then a lot of these people probably won't be impacted too bad. But, dude, all this information's out there. And what are you going to do? Like, shake your fist at them and yell, hey, like, that's not fair. Pfft. Dude, double middle fingers. That's like what they're saying. It's like, you shouldn't have trusted us. Next. Also, good luck getting your DNA like revoked and then reissued. Like, obviously, I'm being ridiculous and playful. Like, your DNA is your DNA, so that's what's up. Hopefully, I don't know what they were looking for. Obviously, with AI, there's a lot you can do on high level, deep level computations. But this isn't good. But it just, actually, honestly, it shows me that, like, they didn't really give a crap, right? If I was going to run some clandestine fake commercial company in order to achieve somebody's DNA, I would wind down the business. I would announce, like, oh, hey, like, we're struggling. AI is disrupting us, and Q3 wasn't good numbers. We're going to shut down in the new year, right? Like, end gracefully. Don't draw attention to yourself. This right here is like, put the eye of Sauron on us and investigate. Especially when you start introducing, like, Russian oligarchs. I don't know, man. Mission Impossible and 007 franchises need to, like, check this out, right? All right, we're right at 8:59. Someone call Nick Barker and let him know that we're absolutely slaying it out here. All right, guys. Hey, really quick, that's going to do it for the stream. But don't go anywhere, because jaw jacking is going to come up, and we're going to be joined by Eric Taylor, potentially DJ BSEC. I'm not entirely sure. Tuesdays is Eric Taylor's day. So I see him in the green room. That's super exciting. Love it, love it, love it. Guys, really quickly, I want to thank all of you, the first-timers, all those who are getting jobs and announcing that and sharing with the community. Thank you for sharing with us. I'm super, super excited for you and very, very happy that Simply Cyber could be part of your career journey in a positive and helpful way. Just a reminder, this is token whatever, like, I guess just business. This whole month, everything at Simply Cyber Academy is 30% off. So if you want to take the GRC course or the Accolade courses or any of the courses over at Simply Cyber, it's 30% off. I don't really push my products very often. I'm actually terrible at it. But, basically it's a Black Friday price, and we try to do it every year to hook people up this time of year. Also, we've got a banger coming really quickly. If you don't know this one,
What's up, YouTubers?
Hold on, get out of here with this. This is an absolute banger. So this is Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. If you don't recognize that, Gen Z, it was huge in the 90s, or I guess late 80s, early 90s. Super awesome. Guys, we are doing a very special Simply Cyber Firesides this Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We are going to be joined by OG cyber legends John Strand and Bryson Bort. I'm basically going to open the call or open the meeting and get the hell out of the way. These two are going to absolutely disrupt a lot of conventions. They're going to rant, and they're going to call it like it is. You want to talk about the job market in cyber? You want to talk about entry-level positions requiring 10 years? You want to talk about zero trust architecture? These guys are going to tear it up. No sacred cows this Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Very, very special. It's much different than what we're normally rocking. But I've been trying to get these guys on the show together for probably 9 months, and schedules never aligned, but it's going down. You are not going to want to miss this. Believe me when I tell you that. All right, guys. I'm going to pivot it over here. I'm gonna pivot it over here. Guys, thanks so very much. I wish you the very best. This has been episode 749 of Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief. I was your host, Dr. Gerald Auger. Let's get our friend Eric Taylor in here. If you've got any questions whatsoever on your cyber career journey, or you want to share resources, whatever it is, Eric Taylor is going to be answering all those questions and more. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the jaw jacking.
Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jawjacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some Jawjacking.
What's going on? If you think Jerry was off the chain, wait till you meet what I've got to say, because I am on a hot mess express. I am probably more jacked up than your freaking truck on 4 wheels with all 4 flat tires, sitting on cinder blocks in your front lawn with an engine swinging from the freaking tree. If you don't know what that's all about, come on down to the country. We'll show you all about that. Those who don't know, my name is Eric Taylor. I'm the CEO, Chief Forensic Operator here at Barricade Cyber. I run this crazy boat with Casually Joseph, Kimberly Can Fix It, Tamara, which I don't think most of y'all know, and J-Mod, along with the rest of the crew here. So we are here to, help out and be part of the community. But I do want to talk about some stuff that really drives me nuts of not being talked about on the news quite so much. And this is a little bit of self-grandizing. I know, I was like, hey, look at me, I'm posting stuff. But I really want to share it because I do think it impacts a lot of y'all. If you don't know what in the world I am talking about, we will go on to this. So I've saved some stuff here a little bit, and we will go into this. So the one thing that we were talking about with the zip files and things of that nature, I'll post this into chat as well. And I posted this on LinkedIn. Please consider this as part of your stories. Let's see, is it going to copy and paste? Come on, there we go. Sorry, Edge is being a little slow for me. So I'll be posting as Dr. Gerald. Let me actually pivot this over at youtube.com so I can post it myself instead of impersonating Dr. Gerald Auger as we're doing this. If chat will come up. So this post here really does talk about changing, anything that comes over as a .command, .bat, .ps1, which is PowerShell, PSM1, which is PowerShell module, .js, which is JavaScript, HTA, which is a mock website, and VBS, which is I just had it, my brain just freaking froze. I can't remember. Holy crap. I literally what is VBS? I don't want to shoot myself in the foot. Okay, let me read. Yeah, Visual Basic. There we go. Sorry, I had a complete old senior moment there. So this actually does, what it does is goes in and changes all the settings so that way it will actually notify or open these specific files in Notepad. So it helps prevent malicious activities or potential malicious and dangerous extensions running inside of your end user's environment, causing potential damage, things of that nature. Being asked to zoom in. Ooh, that's a little too close. Back up, back up. Don't want to be like Dr. Joe Dozier and get all up in your grill. So that's definitely something for you to consider. I posted the link in chat, so that way you can be able to take a look at it. Now, the one other story that I definitely want to talk about is the MoveIt breach. You know, everybody's like, oh, you think MoveIt's over? Guess what? No, it's not. So we've seen on the dark forums yesterday where there is a user by the name, you know, the elite name version of Nameless that has gone out and started posting all of these companies on the sites or the hacker forum sites, so that way you can be able to download and procure this data for yourself for your own collection purposes. There's a ton of records being posted out there. You know, there's the generic user for somebody on that hacker site, but you do have to pay for the content to be unlocked. When going through this, they did say, that's another one, got my stuff out of order, that they have over 1,000 releases coming over the next couple of weeks, even over a month. So there's going to be a lot more data that's going to be dropping from this user. So the only speculation that I have is Nameless, and this is some of the things that were being brought up as in the InfoSec community, is Nameless part of Clock? Did they procure some of this stuff from the Clock group and is now posting it? We don't know. Were they part of the ransomware as a service? You know, were they part of the supply chain if you were to be able to start posting this data out from people who have not paid for that stuff? So now they're going to be made public. So they're really interesting, and I really want to literally drop a nuclear effing bomb on Amazon, right? So Amazon is, did I post it in here? I did not post it in here, but Amazon is part of this breach, and only after it's being posted. Am I actually sharing my audio on this one? I am not. So imitate dolphin sound, but Amazon only after this stuff is coming out is like, oh, sorry, we were actually part of a breach. Like, they know they have MoveIt. They know they were probably a part of that freaking situation. Did they not do in their own freaking investigation? Like, I'm ready to be canceled today. I really am. Like, cancel Eric Taylor, whatever. Like, this really freaking pisses me off. Like, you know, they did literally no diligence, or they did it and just freaking sweep it under the rug and hopefully nobody says anything. Right? It really drives me nuts. You know, while I'm going on my rants, if y'all have any questions, please make sure you drop in that queue in there. I got the wonderful DJ BSEC in the green room querying up those pinned comments for me, so that way we can better go through those in just a moment as I go through my rants and tirades of everything like that. The one other thing I definitely want to drop in here is I've been going through a couple of mock tenants. So in 365, I spin up some different tenants and try to go through Microsoft Copiloting and stuff like that, just trying to see from a forensic log what's out there. I posted it on LinkedIn, and I just posted it here as well. But this really talks about, you know, as normal in Microsoft ecosystem, logging is not enabled by default, ladies and gentlemen. It's just not. You know, even when you set up your new tenant, unified audit logging is not enabled. So when we come into a forensic and we don't have unified audit logging turned on, you know, we're kind of handcuffed a little bit to some degree. Yes, I'm going to bring everyone's dirty laundry out. Literally, I'm about almost 2 pots of coffee into it. And yeah, I'm ready to set literally the world on fire because this is stupid. You know, for a platform to not automatically enable, I mean, this thing has been widely discussed in so many different areas. The Copilot actually logs in different APIs. So we have some that's in a unified audit log or the admin log, admin audit log. It depends on who you talk to, and some they are literally separate logs. But there's also a Teams API where we got to download that information. So anything that's being run for a Copilot needs to be pulled down from the Teams Copilot API. It's going to become very, very problematic to actually do a forensics on this thing. And a user can delete their history. Now, does the user deleting their history delete everything that's being done in the global tenant, or is it just in their Microsoft Office tenant, aka their Word, their Excel, their PowerPoint, things that they are working on, and not from a global entity? If they're working on that Office document in Teams, that I'm going through a hypothetical because I'm just full of ADHD, unmedicated, and full of caffeine. So I kind of talking like Tyler a little bit, where he just goes on and on and on. But it's the being able to parse these type of forensic artifacts out. And if you don't have the proper logging on, and essentially Microsoft is putting this platform together where you can be able to centralize all of your logging, but it does require an Azure subscription to be able to enable those logs and be able to get those things out for a forensic purposes. So if you're in a regulated industry that requires you to have an E3, E5, have that advanced setup and logging turned on, maybe doing a disservice because you think that it's supposed to be, but it's not on by default. Even the basic logs for it has to be enabled in Purview, the Azure Purview preview, so that way you can be able to get that audit log for the forensic artifacts. All right, going to switch over. Now you heard me rant. All right, how do you get a hold of a company whose firewall is internet facing without looking like a hacker and blow black coming to you and your company? J.E. and Michael, you don't. I mean, there are very legitimate reasons to have a web interface for your firewall publicly accessible, right? Let's say you have SSL VPN enabled. A lot of times that enables your web interface for your management as well. And you can lock it down to certain IP addresses. You can, in some firewalls, you can lock it down to have MFA, 2FA to be able to log into that application. I wouldn't just say put it out there wide open and see what happens. I mean, you can do a DNS lookup on that specific IP, see who the carrier comes back is it Comcast, is it Spectrum, is it whoever, and sometimes it is registered to a business identity, so that way you can be able to see what's going on and be able to reach out, say, hey, Jackwagon, did you know that your firewall is public facing? If so, great. Yeah, DJ Bsec is saying in comments you can't send them an email and let them know that you saw it in a scan, and it could come back to you like, oh, why you targeting us or whatever. But it's whatever. It's going to be hard to go through that process. You can just send it out. I know plenty of people who went through the Screen Connect issue. What was it, a year ago, 2 years ago, something like that? And yeah, no joke, Marriott. They were trying to reach out to organizations saying, hey, do you know you got a vulnerable Screen Connect server? And they're like, yeah, we know. Or, hey, why you emailing us? Why you scanning us? Why are you doing this? Blah, blah, blah. So you are putting a little bit of a target on your back. But if you don't care and you just like, whatever, we're just trying to do the good of, for people, then great. If not, then whatever. But most of the time, J.E. Michael, I just don't waste my time anymore, because you literally could go out there and talk to a freaking tree and get more accomplished. Just saying. How should we handle see it, report it when it comes to seeing? I imagine an Amish business where security has potentially never been monitored. That really goes back to a disclosure program. So, and we'll take the Amish out of it. I mean, I know we have Amish runaway, things like that. But the business has got to have some sort of reporting disclosure program, so that way you can be able to report it, right? It kind of goes back to J.E. Michael with the firewall situation. Most of the time companies are not just going to pay attention to it, right? Some of it call it bug bounty program, things of that nature, but you could send it off to their abuse. Probably not the best place, but you can try that and say, hey, I seen this S3 bucket is vulnerable to to a scan. When I was scanning this other company, somehow or another, we stumbled across yours, whatever the case is. But yeah, you could make your efforts to report it to them. Like I said, most of the time it's just going to go on deaf ears, right? Now, I do want to bring up a question. I know there's different types of Amish. You have the traditional legacy Amish, and then you have the new school Amish. And I guess the new school Amish is actually on the internet, but the legacies are not, right? I know there's circle. I mean, like going like with the Jews and the wire around Manhattan, where you can be able to still do some stuff, but you're not really working. You can go to places as long as you're not driving the bus, type of thing. When you're an Amish person, is that kind of the way it is, where somebody else is running the business, but the Amish people are doing the business? I got more questions than I have answers here. So anyway, I digress. Like I said, I might get canceled today. I'm looking at doing a project currently running Microsoft Preview. Have you had any experience with Preview, and does it help when running logs? Microsoft Preview or Purview, I mean, that's part of the Azure Intra, so I don't have enough I can say publicly on a public forum yet. I guess I would need to know exactly what you're trying to push through it. Looking at my chat. So we're gonna go to the moon. I need to know more contextually about what you're trying to get accomplished there before I can really advise anymore. But you, even in Purview, you still got to enable the logs. If you don't enable the logs, there's nothing to be there. Just like in the unified auto logs, it's just not going to be there. It's a separate logging platform, just specific to that. So if you don't have it enabled and configured, it's just not going to collect anything. That I do know. I'm trying to become a DevSecOps engineer. What should my main focus be? I know basic stuff, but I want to know what the real problems in the industry. Write secure code. Here's another one. If you're going to pull stuff off of GitHub, know what the F it does. I can't tell you how many times I have seen developers pull stuff from GitHub or some other open repo that it does not know what it does. They just fixing a problem. It pushes it to this, it takes this from this PowerShell flat file, takes PowerShell, dumps it to a DB. We're going for tacos and cookies. We don't care. You know what your code is doing, right? Comment the trash out of it. So that way, even in 3 days, when you go back after you slept and your brain's effing rebooted, you know what it did. Just catch it up on mod chat here. So Flaming Donkey is now Roaring Lion. I am not going to make that sound at all either. Jerry was completely unhinged with his roar. That was stupid. Jerry. Yes, you can go for tacos and cookies. All at the same time. So commenting to mod chat, Flamin' Donkey is now Roaring Lion. I say they've merged and now they're Roaring Penguin with slide of unicorn. Pixie dust. Are we going to change the name of Jawjacking when Eric is on? You know what really grinds my gears? That has to be brought up to the mods and to you, Dr. Gerald Auger. Kimberly can fix it. Says, wait, you're supposed to know what it does before using it? Yes. It really just drives me so nuts. Oh. Let me find it. I posted the other day, and I got to go to Signal. Bear with me a second, because I posted it into my internal team. Yes, here it is. And my internal team is probably going, uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. All right, let me set the stage for you a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. KMS Pico. It is an application that's been around for a while. It modifies the Windows operating system so that way you can illegally authenticate your OS, your Office, things of that nature, to be legitimate software without freaking paying for it. Completely illegal. Shouldn't be doing it. We've even had cases where I go on complete freaking tyrants because the IT guy was like, "Oh, my AV scan said it was legit." But I just want to be like, really? This is the same AV that did not stop your breach? And that's what you're going to stand on? All right, so here we go. New online version of KMS Pico that I ran through, and I'll actually put this into YouTube chat so you can do your own stuff on it if you wish. So an online forum or an online website that you could be able to legitimately run code against. And I kind of messed around with it a little bit. Why is the navigation not working very well on this stupid thing? Come on. You know, we are live here. Oh, the navigation's just not showing up down here at all. Okay. So basically, get.activated.win is definitely a domain that you want to keep monitoring for and block as much as possible. There is a PowerShell script that's being run that will download and execute this PowerShell script. Let me fast forward because I was messing with something. Again, on my screen, it does not show the tabs here. So there we go. So I'm having to closely move my mouse over. So sorry about that. But you'll see, you know, IRM, invoke web request is the shortcode for it. It pulls that, download, and IXE is the PowerShell code for executing. So download this PowerShell file. It will execute. Then it gives you these activation methods where you can do Office, you can do Windows, you can do anything you want to, and be able to activate your Office. You can check your versions. You can. It'll even, if I remember right, in this session, I even went further down the rabbit hole, I believe. Come on. It actually takes you to. Come on, come on, come on. I'm trying to show. There we are. So it actually takes you to a website where you can be able to download. Now, that may be pretty cool. You may want to run your scanners on it because I know a lot of times MSPs and things of that nature want to be able to deploy Office in a non-Intune environment. You know, you may be a Google Workshop or other environments. So this website may have very good legitimate purposes to be able to download your Windows Media Kits and be able to use that, you know, for deployment protocols. But you definitely, you know, trust but verify. You don't want to verify these are clean images that you are downloading. I mean, it is being pushed out by, you know, somebody to do stupid stuff with Microsoft Office. So, you know, you never know. It could have a KMS Pico built into it. But yeah, this is definitely something you want to, you know, go through. You know, if you have an account, I think even on a free one, you can actually restart it. You can be able to play with it for a few moments and be able to kind of play with it yourself. If you got a license, you can definitely get, you can download everything. It has IOCs in there. It's kind of, oh, you have to be logged in to do that. And I'm not logging in on live forum because you'll see all my other stuff that we're doing. But yeah. Definitely keep an eye out for that. Get.activated.win is a domain that you want to block and keep an eye out for if anybody in your environment ends up doing really, really goofy, stupid stuff. Like that is take Carl out back with wiffle ball bats and smack the trash out of him. All right, let's catch up on chat. The music sounds sinister. Awesome. I think it definitely sets the mood. Hey, Eric, I think that's abuse. Oh, hold on. I clicked the wrong thing. I think that's abuse by some standards. Are you talking? Give me more context. Eric needs tomatoes on ketchup and on chat. Needs tomatoes to ketchup on chat. Okay. My ADHD is going too fast for that one, Carrie. I'm not getting it. Let's catch up on mod chat real quick. Before I get onto this one, in chat I see, or in mod chat, hey chat, I'm getting my very first job offer today. So excited, almost felt like giving up. Haha. From Volsec Proof. Good job, Volsec Proof. All right, back to this question. I'm going for a sysadmin and IT sec manager position with very little leadership experience. How can I demonstrate I would be a good leader in the interview? Here's a good one that I like to play when going through these type of interview questions. Say to them flat out, say, imagine you hired me today. What are the first 3 projects you would like me to tackle? And then be quiet, let them answer. And then say how you would tackle those specific problems. You're already bringing value to their organization. You're already talking about, you know, what you can do to make an impact on things and be able to make things a little bit better for that organization moving forward, right? Bear with me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. So sorry. All right. Darn, Eric didn't like my tomato jokes. Darn, I have to retire now for telling jokes. So, Gary, I'm just, again, my ADHD has kicked into literally a 3rd level right now. So, like, unless it's plain and simple, I'm not getting it. Anita, did you answer my follow-up, or was that to somebody else? Oh, telling Carl back, or taking Carl back. Yeah. Got it. You're absolutely welcome, Sean. Again, keep the questions coming in. Keep the questions coming in. Like I said, I'm hopped up on anger and caffeine, and I'm ready to talk and, you know, try to get myself canceled today. Is the threat actor music for me? So this one in Restream is just called Epic. So what is a good in-demand cloud course cert that companies are looking for? I honestly don't know. That, you know, I would say hold on to that one and ask DJ BSEC on Thursday. He's more in the admin network administration phase. I haven't been in that phase in a while, so I'm a little disconnected from that world of what businesses are looking for day-to-day blue team organization. So I will reserve you to ask him that question. He is in the green room. If he wants to jump on screen and answer, he's more than welcome to. But I would say probably something cloud-based or something. You know, Azure. It's got to be one of the main ones, right? I mean, it's got to be Google. It's got to be Microsoft Azure or AWS. You know, it's going to, unless you're doing overseas in Russia or something like that, Alibaba is not going to really hold you a whole bunch of freaking benefit. So look at the three major ones here in the US. I haven't skipped anything. It wasn't even pinned. So let me go with Kimberly can fix the question. So what's the new share key, or so about the new share key from Microsoft? You like that? No. Freaking no. Because this is exactly what it's gonna do. You're gonna hit that start button. You're gonna actually click that thing and be like, oh, I'll just send this to freaking Bob Jones over in Timbuktu. And sorry if there's a Bob Jones in Timbuktu, but you're going to be the target of my blunts today. And somebody's going to screw up and then share their entire freaking C drive through OneNote, or not OneNote, but OneDrive or Teams. You'll have a proper security controls to make sure that you're not able to share content outside of external or allowed domains is a security control that you should have in your Microsoft 365 tenancy. And I'd highly advise, you know what, I'll create a post about that today, how to set that up. No, BTG Basic, I was leaving it for you on purpose. That's why I didn't mention it. So the IT security, or the cloud security question was being answered privately, but I want to definitely allow him to answer that one. I'm doing it for a reason. Let's see. I have a background in information security and knowledge of Python. Which field would be good fit for me? I mean, I think anything, you really could do just about anything, because I mean, you can use Python to interface with, you know, the blue team stuff, the red team stuff, the cloud stuff. Yeah. Exactly, DJ BSEC. I mean, you've got the fundamentals. You just got to figure out what you want to go do. I mean, if you understand information security, you know how the security framework, things of that nature, to be able to put things together and be able to make things more secure. And you have a programming language to be able to interface with APIs and, you know, hardware and things of that nature. You can literally, it's like, what's your passion? What do you want to go do? You want to do red team? You want to do blue team? You want to do digital forensics? You want to do, you know, pen testing? You know, if you got the basics down, you just got to figure out what path you want to take. Sorry about more of a clear answer, but literally you got the fundamentals there. You just got to figure out what path you want to do. And it's not for me to tell you how to run your life. It's really not. We can advise, we can guide, but you, again, this is really where you're at that point where you need to figure out what you want to do. Which side of, or which of the many paths in the forest do you want to potentially take? What drives you? What gets you awake? What gets you passionate? Follow-up question: what is because I skipped over one question at least. What's the best use of Python for blue team side? I would say being able. I'm going to make an assumption that you don't have an RMM, remote management tool, or anything like that. You know, you're in your internal IT and you're trying to do things at scale. I would say being able to parse Windows event logs on servers and workstations at very large scale, to be able to find those Windows failed login attempts and things of that nature, being able to build those IOCs, being able to potentially interface with your firewall to say, you know, are there, you know, threats that are coming in that you should be able to monitor, being able to build out that, you know, that's where my mind first goes to on that specific thing, is log collection and building IOCs and building detection, so that way you can be more secure tomorrow than you are today. Hopefully that helps. The Rich 464 asks, what do you think of using DNs to hide packages or a C2? Found a technique from David Bombay Oh, fudge. Yeah, I've seen rumor about this. So it's just really obfuscation and being able to deliver payloads to bypass an EDR tool. You know, just, it's going to happen, unfortunately. All right, Eric Burns asks, and definitely keep these questions coming in. I really do appreciate it. Sorry if I seem a little over the top and direct to some people, but sometimes I you know, again, I don't want to sugarcoat anything. That's just not the person that I am. So 17 years of cyber experience in the DoD. Hey, 5 years IR, threat hunting, leading a team, thinking about getting a SOC level 1 job or second or third shift for some extra money. Are you currently in the DoD still now, Aaron? Now look, I'm going to preface this with a big, massive asterisk. I mean, big, massive asterisk. When I was in the Marine Corps and I did OPSEC, we couldn't have a freelance job. Now again, this has been 20 some years ago. I'm an old. It still surprises me, like half of my age is when I got out, but we couldn't have those because they didn't want us to become a potential liability for the stuff that we were potentially working on. Now, granted, I was only 4 years in. I was not privy to a lot of classified information by any means, a stretch of the imagination. Make no mistake, I'm not trying to say I was some Billy Bad whatever. You know, a lot of my stuff was landscape and pinpointing stuff, but we did see some things that were, you know, of points of interest and were deemed classified. So make sure if you're still in the DoD, you're allowed to do those things, that you're allowed to potentially work as a SOC analyst, because, you know, they may be worried what you're seeing there will be transferable into that SOC. You're taking the skills and stuff from there and putting it in and pretty much disclosing DoD tactics and techniques and procedures in the private sector that you're not supposed to. So make sure from command that you're able to actually do that to begin with before even doing that. That would be my first and most important critical thing I would ever stress upon you. Granted, again, this is 20 years ago, big asterisk, make sure you're able to do it before going through it, because you don't want to get a big chicken dinner discharge just because you did something just to better yourself when it wasn't allowed. So always ask command first. Hopefully that's helped. But now, if you're able to do it, go do it. I mean, if you got the skills, go knock it out. Why does Amazon and Microsoft all the government contracts? That's going to get me on a very political topic that I don't think I want to do. But in essence, I think it's because of the size and the scale and the infrastructure that they have. You know, yeah, from a technology, from a technology standpoint, they have worldwide capabilities, right? You can spin up data centers. You can do all this stuff in their cloud infrastructure. So yeah, they're going to pivot that. And Microsoft has their own government cloud that is regulated for the CMMC. So you could put CUI and things of that nature in the GovCloud for Microsoft. A lot of stuff you cannot put in Amazon that you can put in the Microsoft GovCloud. And I think, I may be wrong, but I think Amazon actually has a GovCloud now. Now that I said that out loud. Pretty sure. I could be wrong. Correct me in chat. I'm not up to date on everything Amazon these days, to be completely honest with you. But yeah, I mean, when you're as massive as they are, and you have the infrastructure to support them, it makes sense that they're able to have those government contracts, right? Computer Geek. So what's the next step after help desk? I need more contests. Computer Geek. Like, are you just doing? I'm not trying to talk down to you, Computer Geek, by any means, but are you just filtering calls and doing like a level 1 triage? Hey, have you rebooted your computer? Have you rebooted or cleared your cache things? Or are you doing like tier 3? You know, you're remoting in and you're fixing the things and you're doing, like heavy level network and system administration tasks. Just saying your help desk is a pretty broad statement. It's like saying I'm in IT. Well, kind of not, but saying like you're in programming. Okay, what kind of what are you doing? So I really need more context on what you're actually doing in help desk. But let's just say hypothetically you are at the entry level. You're just that triage person. I would say advance, get to be system administrator, become network administrator. If you're already there, then looking at management roles or whatever makes you passionate, right? What's wrong, Casually Joseph in mod chat? Eric, question for Eric: when you're sent a link, what's your process for safely opening it? I open it up inside of a VM. So we use different hypervisors, and I will open a link in one of my sandboxes most of the time. Every once in a while, I'll accidentally open up it on my primary host, and then I isolate myself. So, but yeah, I try to make sure I open it up in a VM at all times, so that way I can be able to, do the forensics on it to see what's going on. You know what? There's another tool. Hold on. I actually thought about it. If this is just a URL link, right? We will go to URL DNA. I think it's IO. Yep. URL DNA.io. Put it in chat here. So we'll just take this one that we were just doing a moment ago, right? So we'll copy this. Oh. See, like even on this stream, I'm doing Windows sandboxing. We'll post that in there. I know it's small. Reject all. No cookies for you. And while this is running, we'll keep talking. But this is the scan. Like if it's just a URL or a link or whatever, I will throw it in URL DNA.io so that way I can see what it's doing. And that's a tool that I don't have. It will go through and figure out where it's hosted, all that stuff. So we'll come back to you, Habit A, in just a moment once that tool is done running. Which has better opportunities between IR and network security engineering? Define opportunities. Like job opportunities? If you're asking, opportunities equals job, I don't know. I'm so displaced on the job market right now. I don't know what to say or do. I am hearing rumor from the grapevine that what am I, an idiot? Grapevine that it's actually, we're seeing some massive hiring going on right now. I don't know if it's like, and I made the comment back to him, it's like, I'm not sure if there's like Bitcoin, like we're seeing that surge and then we're going to see a pullback, a little too much of a spike at the moment, kind of see where the dust settles. All right, coming back to Habit A, the tool is finished running. You'll see warning, potential malicious page, mark it as malicious. Yes, I'm not going to sign in, but you can. But this thing will come in and say, it's software. It's got malware. It's got script execution. It's got all the stuff in here. What IP addresses. It's behind Cloudflare, registered earlier this year. Like I said, it's a newer thing. So it does give you some insights on what's going on with the actual URL, so that we can be able to dig into it and see what's going on. So hopefully that helps you. From the link, is a job as ethical hacker beneficial than freelancing or HTTP or HackerOne? The link, I'll just say an ethical hacker is pretty much doing all the above. They have their own private engagements that they're going on. They're being a red team, they're being a pen tester, and they, between gigs that they have, they'll do the freelance and they'll do the hack the box of advance their skills, and they are very, very active on HackerOne, right? So they have multiple VMs. They're HackerOneing, OSINTing on these boxes and stuff, and they may be working on their potential engagement. They're doing all those things. Multiple revenue streams literally is the game when you're an ethical hacker. What's your opinion on changing your job title on your resume? I essentially do the duties of assist admin, but a company has not given me a made up title. Don't do it. Do not do that. Yeah, I'm not saying it's fraud, but it could be construed as that, right? So when you're in the interview process, you can definitely say that you did the roles as what it was, but I would never do that. Yeah, DJ B6 said, and if you're trying to get a assist admin role, the questions will be different. Yeah. Halbert A, I see it. They're coming in, but I just posted the URL, or people are answering you in chat, but there's the URL once again in chat. Sorry, there was something in mod chat, but got deleted. We see some agreement with Kashmir. Trying to find it here in the chat. But see, here's the question that I have. Okay, honestly, again, I'm an old, but if you're doing a sysadmin work, then you're a sysadmin. Yes. But can you legitimately put sysadmin on your resume if McDonald's, no offense to McDonald's, but let's just say hypothetically you're a sysadmin for McDonald's, but your job title still says hamburger fryer, but you're doing sysadmin work. Can you legitimately put sysadmin? Like if they go and pull your job transcript, like they used to do in the old, I'm not sure if it's a very relevant thing these days, like pull your employment history and things like that, and it will show what title you actually had and things of that nature. That may be, this may be something where I'm just old and this is not a thing anymore. So if that is the case, then I digress a little bit on my previous statements. But in the old days, they would pull your history for your job titles at former employments. So if your title said front desk clerk or hamburger fryer, but you put on your resume that you were a sysadmin, that would raise a lot of red flags. Exactly. Yeah. So DJB said, "Come on up, bud." He's definitely got something he wants to be able to talk about. I need to stop sharing my screen for a second. Give us 1 second while we pivot up and bring, because DJ B6 is definitely more in this world again. This may be where I'm just an old fuddy-duddy on this one, and this is not the way things are anymore.
Yo.
What's going on, man? Educate me.
So, but what I would say for the person that keeps bringing up sysadmin, you're doing the work, that's fine. The company's not giving you the title. You don't put the title on there. If you're leaving the company or you're looking to get a sysadmin job, then when you go do this, or when you go to that interview for the sysadmin job, tell them everything you're doing. Underneath your specific title that you currently have, put everything that you are currently doing, because the person that is going to be interviewing you is going to say, man, you're doing all the work of a systems administrator. That is more along these titles. And then you can just say, yeah, the company doesn't necessarily have a systems administrator title. That way you're not putting that on there. I wouldn't necessarily put it out there that you're a systems administrator, because also what you need to consider is it also runs with pay, right? So being a tech or a tier 2 tech versus a systems administrator, there's difference in pay. So if you walk in and you're saying, oh, I'm a systems administrator over at company A, and you're only getting paid $10, and most systems administrators get paid $15, they'll be like, well, man, you're underpaid, or you don't have that. So what I would say is, I wouldn't necessarily put that you're a systems administrator, but I would put all of the work that you do on a daily basis in there to let everybody know that, hey, this is the stuff I do. That's it.
That's a good.
If that makes sense.
But I mean, you've been around for a little while, probably not as much as me, but do you remember the days where they would do employment verifications and things of that nature? And if you,
they still do employment verification, and
okay.
I don't necessarily know that HR or a talent person is going to necessarily call the company and be like, hey, this person says they're a systems administrator, did they have that title? Mm-hmm. That being said, just like you said, I wouldn't necessarily put on there. That's like, I do a lot of work, and everybody says, oh, you do the work of a CISO. I'm not putting CISO on my resume right now. I don't have that job. That doesn't mean that I couldn't go do that job, but you don't put that on your resume until you've actually been in that position and held that position or given that title.
Yep.
That doesn't mean you can't do the job. So we're not saying that you're not doing the job of a systems administrator. That doesn't say that you can't do the job of a systems administrator, but don't put that on your resume until you actually have that specific role. That's what I would say.
Same here. Unless you have that title, I wouldn't put it on the paper.
Unless a company has specifically given you that title, I wouldn't necessarily put that on there.
All right.
My 2 cents.
Yep. Yay! Couple more pennies, and we'll have a nickel.
All right, I'm dropping back into the back.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, DJ BSEC, for the comments there. I love it. So we answered it's coming up to the top of the hour. Looks like we've gotten through most, if not all, the questions. I want to hear an ice cream truck. Dude, do you have, so we have something, this goes a little tangent, you'll wrap this thing up. So we have a thing called Booze Pop. Have y'all ever seen this thing? So literally it's like an ice cream truck, but it's these like tubes of like booze. And it comes around like an ice cream truck. Maybe I live in a bougie area, I don't know. Why are you stream jumping? Stay right there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap this up for today. Thank you so much for listening to my completely unhinged rants and topics of the day. I do greatly appreciate it. If you did get value out of this, please share it. On your way out, please slap a thumbs up. And until next time, stay curious, my friends.
There once was a kid whose passwords laid across all sites. They were the same, a criminal, then found their fame by taking that data to go. Soon may a criminal come to steal your pictures and data and run. One day when the crime is done, they'll steal your account and
Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed that content. Keep the cybersecurity train going by connecting with the other Simply Cyber community resources. We have the Discord server that's lively and always keeps the conversation going. You can connect with me directly on LinkedIn. And also every single weekday morning on the Simply Cyber channel, we're doing live daily cyber threat briefings, 8 a.m. Eastern time, as well as Thursday at 4:30 p.m. we're doing live stream interviews with industry experts, and we produce videos that we push out every Wednesday morning. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. I hope you enjoyed the content, and we'll see you in the next one.